I'm going to present the action research results on collaborative culture and go through a couple things that I noticed here with what the staff had stated within the survey and explain kind of what the background is for what we're looking at here. First off, though, is I want to discuss here that action cycle. So when we have a problem or situation that occurs within the school, first we've got to define the problem and the issue, and then analyze here the difficulties of that problem, and take a look at roadblocks that we may have along the way. Then go here to look at criteria, for a solution to that problem so that we can reach that common goal. And then create a plan or a strategy for action. And once we have that plan and strategy, and that's probably where most of the time is going to be taken here, and then you're working our way right back into difficulties and everything, then we can get to the action plan, the plan of action. Where are we going to how are we going to implement everything? And again, taking a look at student learning. Student learning is our biggest goal and outcome. And how's that plan of action going to take place? Now, what happened here is we had a survey among staff members, administration, and others to ask them about what collaborative culture looks like to them. So there were about 55% of teachers that had taken the survey, 33% of administrators, and the other group, which could be staff, parents, or students, roughly about 11%. The questions that were asked here is, what does great collaboration look like? How would you describe what it feels to be collaborative? What conditions have to be present for a team to innovate? What are the dynamics that can cause a team to struggle when collaborating? And what is the most important outcome of collaboration to you? So the first is, what does great collaboration look like? And within the survey results, just analyzing all the results, one of the biggest pieces that I saw, respect. That's why I have it as the foundation of this house here, because respect is going to hold everything else up to reach that common goal, which is up top at the roof. Okay. Now, all of the other things that are in here: honesty, growth, cooperation, hard work, responsibility, openness, and participation were largely discussed within the survey results amongst every group. And if one of these pieces is taken out, what you're going to see is this house becomes empty. And if those things keep coming out, everything becomes empty here, and you're not going to hit that goal up top. Now, once you have all of those components in here, and you reach that goal, there is that step further. You're going to see that successful result. That's why you see is the chimney. This is where you are actually going to be able to view what happened with that goal. And hopefully it's not going to go up in smoke, like what comes out of a chimney, but it's going to be very nice and warming, so that that everything was met. Then they were asked here, what does it feel like? What does great collaboration feel like? And one of the biggest pieces here was that the voices and opinions matter. So everybody's opinion, everything that was said made a difference. Okay. The other thing is inspiring. What inspired this goal? And have it that it's that outcome that's there, that it's a outcome that we want to achieve. We're gonna be inspired to make this outcome happen. That kind of also leads into energizing. Most people stated within the survey that you have to be energized, to meet this goal. You've got to want to be invested into it and have that enthusiasm. And then once you see that goal, is have confidence in the goal. So once you are working to that plan, that that you're confident about what you want to try to achieve. Now, the other question that was asked here are, what conditions are needed to cultivate, innovation within a collaborative culture? And one of the things here is that I set up is obviously the goal up top is the vision is the base. What you want to see. And that's kind of the start. But you don't know what that goal is actually going to become. So the vision is the starting point. You see what is there, what you want it to be. And all these components and these roots at the bottom here are key. And the big things that were discussed within the survey were honesty, focus, a safe environment, making sure that, you were able to walk in and feel open to sharing ideas. Time, participation and discussion. And the biggest thing that was also on here was, again, trust and respect, is amongst the group themselves, understanding that you're going to trust each other, and respect each other's ideas, that you're going to be able to meet that common goal. Now, they were asked here, what are some of the struggles in collaboration, when you're collaborating with others? What are those common things that generally happen that you have to combat? One of the biggest right in the middle is the time, and making sure that you had enough time to reach that common goal. So setting by enough time was key in order to make things successful. The other one that was discussed in many of the survey results were the dominant personalities, where you have kind of one person taking control of that group. And sometimes this is good, to get things moving along. However, if they're trying to just do it all themselves, it's not going to work. So that also kind of goes into a couple others here of competition, because people start competing with each other. It was discussed that the competition, for their ideas, to be the ones that are chosen, which goes all the way down to individual agendas. People sometimes have the individual agenda, that they want this because it's going to benefit them. And, with that competition of I'm trying to get what I want, their individual agenda, it's clouding the goal, is clouding the situation. So that's a bit tough. The other things that are on here is, distrust. It was discussed here that if you cannot trust others, in what you say, that things could fall apart. A lack of participation, being shy, holding back, not using your voice, kind of puts a lot of pressure on others. But this is where that dominant personality can probably help, pull that person in and say, I haven't heard from you much. What are some of the ideas that you have? And that could help to kind of combat that. Unclear goals. If a goal is simply given of, we need to raise test scores, and that's it, there's probably nothing that's going to be accomplished. They can't be too vague. They've got to be specific, but also encouraging. And, I'll discuss a little bit later here is what I envision, within the building when it comes to those goals. And then they said, what does the outcome look like? What does a great collaborative, community look like? And first and foremost, it was the student learning. That was the overall thing. They could see, and there was success within student learning. Everything down below was a part of it. The consensus, the plan, the growth, the confidence. But a big one that was discussed in multiple areas, maybe not specifically this word here, but diversity, is having the opinions of everybody, to reach this common goal. And pulling in everybody's thoughts and ideas was crucial in order to meet every student's needs. Now, in future building that I would have, what does it look like? First and foremost, I would have to build respect, amongst the staff. And prior to creating any type of committee, I need to make sure that I build the respect, that I have an open door, that they can come to me and tell me what problems or issues are. Once I get the committee together, I will be able to then, check in with them, and have them understand and know that they can speak to me if there's issues or problems or questions that they may have, that they can speak to me, and I'm going to help them. I'm going to be right by their side working with them. Leads me into my next piece is that diverse community. Just discussed it a little bit ago, but again, creating a community here, committee, and pulling from different areas is what's going to achieve that strong goal. understanding that everybody's got a different background and everybody's views are different, everybody's teaching styles are different. So pulling all of that information is only going to make you stronger. And, put that out there for when that final plan of action needs to go into place, that those diverse people are going to be able to reach so many more of the staff members, and understanding what that purpose of that goal is. The next is allowing enough time. I need to make sure that I need to set a good amount of time for the staff members within the building. Essentially, I really want them to be within the building so that they understand that, their mindset is on learning, and we're in that building. That's where the mindset is. I'm going to be honest with them, up front, why this goal needs to be done, and what are the reasons that that goal needs to be done. And not kind of beat around the bush to say, we just want to raise test scores, we want to look good. I need to be completely honest with them, as an administrator. And then realizing every goal is for the student learning, that we're not trying to set goals for our individual selves. We're going to try to do stuff that's going to be achievable by us. And that's something that we need to discuss as a committee. But we can't simply have it for our own individual agendas. We've got to make sure that this is a group effort. And I think that once we combine every piece of this, I'm going to have a strong community within the building. That everybody's going to start building on what we've done and collaborating with each other without me even stepping in. They're going to build themselves, and they're going to come up with their own ideas. And I think that that's what's going to be successful in a future building.